All right. Welcome, one and all, to Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am John, and I am here with the happiest man in the world on a Monday morning. It's Brian. Look at that smile. How are you doing,
All
buddy?
good, man.
It's
We're
all
doing
good.
great.
Anytime we are at the greatest all star game in all of Major League Sports, yeah, that would be baseball. We have a time to celebrate, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I don't think you're the big baseball fan in terms of the All Star game, right? You're kind of
I'm a
reserved
little
with that.
soured on, well, I'm a little soured on the process of the baseball All-Star game. That's
How
all.
so? How
I,
so?
I do think the players, when they're on the field, they are competing. They are giving it their best. It's not like, the NFL or the NBA. I do believe the players are out there trying their best for those moments they're on the field. But I think the system of selecting the all stars has over the years has just gotten weaker and softer, and uh, because of that, I feel like we don't get the best players and the most deserving players in the game. So that's what kind of takes away some of the luster for me.
I concur with that, actually. Wow, that's shocking. We're agreeing on something. I do think it's exacerbated by the Jacob Misioroski situation. He has pitched in 5 games. Uh, he had one bad game, but he was electric in the other 4. But he took a slot from what I would consider maybe more deserving pitchers in Philadelphia and San Francisco. And to me, look, I think what this is Rob Manfred trying to get some juice, some steroids into the game because the ratings keep falling farther and farther. And they're looking at Paul Skeens last year, who had an amazing first half of a rookie year and was an all-star starter. And they're trying to get some of that cachet in there. But, to me, I agree with Nick Castellanos of the Phillies, who is lobbying for Suarez to be a starting pitcher, in that how long is it until Major League Baseball literally starts selecting guys from beer leagues? Because, hey, he's, Savannah Bananas. Well, let's just get a couple guys out there on the field, right?
Well, we should,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I mean, this goes back a long time, but the having to have one player from every team, that is that's kind of ridiculous. There's nobody on the Rockies that is deserving of an all-star spot. There's nobody on the Marlins that is deserving of an all-star spot. And what happens is right there, 2 other players don't get to don't get the call that should. I mean, there's some guys that have some really good numbers that are not getting their shot. And like you said, this kid in Milwaukee, wow, he's a great little rookie phenom, and he's had a great start. 5 games, and he's an all-star. Really?
Right,
5?
right, right,
I mean,
right.
you might as well put Clayton Kershaw on there. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, you already did. Yeah, exactly. What's Pedro doing? You know, uh, I will slightly disagree about the. I do think that we have a slot for each team. I think they should expand the rosters, but the reason they don't do that is because so many guys in their contracts have all-star bonuses, right? And the owners want to get alligator arms, and they don't want to have to pay those out, of course, right? But the problem I see with your proposal is we're going to see 7 guys from the Dodgers, and there's already enough of that disparity of the big market, small market type of thing. And I don't need to turn off the fans because it's baseball, right?
Yeah,
Whatever
but I
we
mean,
can.
okay, so I don't even know who it is, but who made it from the Rockies?
I don't
Do
know.
we even know?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Do you think
No,
anybody in Colorado is tuning into the game because that guy might get one at bat?
absolutely not. Maybe his
Absolutely
family.
not.
maybe his family, right? His
So
wife, like, oh,
that's
there's my
that's
husband.
kind of the point of why do we have to have someone from that team there?
Okay,
And
okay,
let's
I'm
go,
not
and
gonna.
whoever it is, I'm sure there's two or three other guys better at his position than
No
he is.
argument. I'm not gonna argue that. You're absolutely correct. All right, let's talk about real quick about the MLB draft. Um, I know that's a big favorite with yours.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
absolutely.
yesterday we had a unique situation. We had two players from Corona High School drafted in the top 10 in the draft, and they had a third player from Corona High School taken 32nd, just outside the first round. My question to you is, can Corona High School beat the Colorado Rockies?
Well, I mean, I live in Corona.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, you did. I've never been there. I've never been to Corona High School. Actually, I went to a football game there once, but
They got a good high school football program, that's for sure.
they used to over at Centennial. I don't know about Corona High School, but anyways, uh, I don't get too geeked up on the draft because, let's face it, is anybody from the draft going to actually be a big star? Maybe, but the odds in the MLB are so astronomically different. That surefire number one pick, okay, he might make it to the majors.
Right.
There's so many things that can go. I mean,
Well,
let's
let's
face it.
see.
The
Let's
one of them, one of those two, is a pitcher. So if he hasn't
right.
already, I mean, he's gonna within the next 2 years have his first Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
No,
then
you
what
mean
is he
his
gonna do?
third. You mean his
Yeah,
third. Yeah.
exactly. So the draft in baseball to me is such a crapshoot, and prospects get traded all the time. Before they even two or three times, a lot of times before they even get to where they're major league ready.
Right.
So I'm not a big draft guy. I don't really care too much.
Well, I'm just saying three guys from Corona High
Yeah,
School
I mean
were drafted into
that's
the top 32, right?
that's impressive.
It is. All right, let's talk about the other big story, the one that warms my heart, I guess, is the Red Sox entered the All-Star break with a 10-game winning streak. I'm going to ask you a question, and we live in a sports society and a podcast society that wants to adjudicate the entire world every single day, 5 times, and then a sixth time at 10 o'clock at night. Did the Red Sox make the right move in trading Devers?
Oh, it's still too early to tell
I understand, but
because
listen to my
any team.
question.
I mean, getting rid of him, I don't think necessarily is, and then going struggling for 2 weeks is what turned on to this 10-game winning streak.
Okay.
I mean, if 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 getting rid of him was the right move, 100%, then the 10-game winning streak would have happened as soon as he got on the bus.
Right.
So they got on a hot streak, but let's face it, dude. Let's go. Three of them were against the Rockies. Three of them were against the Nationals. And then,
Hmm.
yes, they swept the Rays at home, which is phenomenal because they usually struggle with the Rays,
Right.
home or away. So the fact that they beat the Rays, that's a good sign. But I mean, six of those games in this 10-game streak were kind of gimmies that any average team should have been able to win anyway.
Yeah. It's still
They
hard.
count,
It's
they
still hard
count,
to sweep.
and it's a
Yep.
10-game winning streak, so that's all
Yeah.
good. The most impressive thing to me was 2 starts ago, I remember bitching to you about Crochet only getting to pitch 7 innings and at least not
Right.
getting the eighth. And then it was, I believe, Saturday, he got to go the full distance. I'm surprised Cora still has a job, but he threw
Yeah.
he ended the game on his 100th pitch, complete game shutout. His first complete game, so obviously his first shutout of his career. So that's good. I mean, the guy's getting strong, and he's able to start getting deeper into the games. That's just going to benefit his whole pitching staff as a whole.
Yeah. I concur with it. I mean, but I still think it's a mistake to have traded Devers even in the midst of the 10-game winning streak because what does it say? Does that make us the Miami Marlins? You know how the Miami Marlins will trade anybody with a big contract? Is that where the Red Sox are really at? I mean, is everybody kind of on pins and needles and are we ever going to sign a free agent? I don't know.
Well, I think last episode we talked about how nobody from the team or anything else is, or even David Ortiz, his mentor, was slamming the guy for his attitude and everything else. And maybe that aspect of it was just causing so much turmoil within the organization that it was better to just eat it and freaking get rid of the guy. Actually, they didn't eat anything. They traded the whole contract,
Right,
which is amazing.
right.
I mean, you think back, you know, he only had like 2 or 3 months left on his deal, but they did the same thing with Manny just to get rid of the guy because they
That
just
was a
had to get him
different
out of town.
situation. Yeah, I
A
think
little bit
Manny
though,
had
but it
worn
was
a.
he had worn out his welcome,
Yeah, he had.
right?
I
And
didn't.
he
I
was
don't
still
think Devers did.
producing.
I
Well,
understand,
I think
but
it's a new regime though than who dealt with Manny. And this new regime, maybe they're just a little bit more less forgiving or less willing to look the other way on the bad attitude stuff. And they said, you know what, let's just cut ties with this guy, get rid of
you
him.
know, yeah,
We
but I'm
got
not
all these
buying that.
young prospects coming up that are going to do the job.
There you go.
That's their attitude.
Cost
So it's
containment.
easy. So it's easy to get rid of him and dump that giant contract. So I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess
but
here's how you know if they made the right or wrong move trading Rafael Devers. There's what 11 years left on the deal. Ask that question in 6 years
yeah,
when he still has 5 to go.
but but was he productive enough in the first 5 years to justify it? I mean, at the end of
Well,
the
we'll see.
day,
It's been a
I
year and a
didn't
half.
I didn't hear any of this. He's a bad teammate until they traded him. And then everybody lined up like Roman soldiers. John Henry got on a plane and went to Kansas City and left and said everything's good. Right? Then all of a sudden when they traded him, to me, I think they could have got more for him. Forget just dumping the contract. Forget that. Because at the end of the day, you've got to get somebody who wants to sign with you. When's the last free agent Boston really signed that somebody actually wanted? I don't want to hear this. Oh, we came close with Shohei. Oh, we came close with Juan Soto. Great. Yeah, hopes and prayers. Yeah, maybe Pedro has a kid out there.
I think
You
he
know.
does.
Yeah,
Big
well,
Papi's kid is in the minor leagues.
oh, well, there you go. And Matt Holliday, I mean, his biggest thing, beside a great career in the major leagues, is he keeps producing these stud kids who keep getting drafted in the top 5 in the draft.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Maybe one of them will
Yeah,
be a good player someday.
maybe. Don't get sent down to the minors over there in Baltimore. All right, at the All Star break, tell me one or two of the things that kind of stick out for you in the baseball at the theoretical halfway point. Anything?
Well, we just did this on Friday. You got anything new for me?
Yeah, I
Ask me a
do.
new question.
Shohei pitched 3 innings this week. I
3.
like the quit it, quit it. He is the greatest player who ever lived, and I want you to respect that for him. At the end of the day, they have a. I gotta say, the Dodgers do such a nice job. Their pitching staff is in shambles. It's like the U.S. forces at Normandy, man. Everybody's wounded, right? And they are doing such a nice job. He pitched 3 scoreless innings against San Francisco, which I don't know if that's exactly that big of a deal because San Francisco only has like 2 guys who can hit, one of them being Devers. Great.
Yeah, he ain't hitting
And
though.
yeah, I know he's not. You're right. Absolutely. But I gotta say, man, the Dodgers. I think they're primed for a second half run. They lost 7 games in a row, and we all thought the earth was falling in. That, but they won the last 2 games in the series. They headed to the All Star break in such a nice position. Tyler Glasnow came back last week, pitched very very nicely in Milwaukee. I don't know. I think this team is really set up to really make a nice run in the second half.
I will concur with that. Uh, when they were in the midst of that losing streak, I told you, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal because they still had a handy uh, lead in the division in L. So they went through that. They went through that week-long bad stretch of losing what, 7 in a row,
Yeah,
and it didn't affect them in the standings whatsoever.
right.
They're eventually going to get Blake Snell back, right? He can't. He's not gone for the year. He's going to come back. Shohei's going to start pitching a little bit more, you would think. The
Yeah,
Dodgers are going to be fine. They're going to win their division. They're going to have probably that. Well, they'll definitely have a first round bye. They'll be the 1 or the 2 seed, probably the 1 seed in the
right.
National League, and it's going to come down to who they match up with because the playoffs are always about who's the hottest team in the moment.
Yeah,
So it's no lock that they're going to win the World Series if they win
no,
105 games. It's no
no,
lock that they're going to win the LCS if they win 105 games.
right.
But the Dodgers are going to be in good shape. I will say, too, props to Shohei. Okay, see, here's me giving Shohei some props.
About
Hit one
time.
into the ocean this weekend.
Yeah, that's why he's the best player ever. All
Yep.
right. I will say I was wrong. God, I'm wrong quite a bit. I did think the Braves would be a lot better at the All-Star break. I really thought they were going to come out of that first 30 game funk. And man, they're 9 games under 500. And do you think the Braves have a shot at getting to the playoffs, even though literally half the teams in the league get there?
No, the
Okay.
Braves don't have a shot. The only thing that is a question mark about the Braves, because their GM has a history of not being afraid to make trades.
Right.
You go back to what was it, 21 when they won the World Series? They had a bunch of guys hurt. He made some trades, and they looked like they were kind of just hovering dead in the water. And he made a few
Yeah.
trades, and next thing you know, they got hot, won everything. Uh,
The Soler
this
trade.
year, yeah, this year I don't think that option is going to be there. So it's going to be a matter of be interesting to keep your eye on the Braves to see if they sell off guys to rebuild towards next year, or if they're going to kind of stand pat, maybe make a couple of small moves, assuming that if everybody is healthy again next year, they'll be back.
Yeah, I think they're going to opt for the latter, but yeah, there's definitely two things on the table. What about Baltimore in that same scenario? Do you think they're going to sell?
I, I would think that they would try to sell some and try to get some pitching, not for this year. This year's lost, but at least get some good pitchers for next year because that's their biggest problem and has been since they brought up all these kids.
Yeah,
Uh, they got to get some pitching if they're going to compete. And they had a snip of it for 2 years. Now was that snip enough that they think the fan base is going to be happy and they can go back to being crap? Who knows?
it seems like they think we do have new ownership in Baltimore, so I do think that they are going to quote unquote try and work their way through the process, whatever that is. It's still a process if you're a kamikaze fighter, right? You're gonna, it's still a thing. I mean, maybe they're trying to burn it all down. I mean, if they are, maybe Ashley Rushman is on the table to be traded. I don't know. If I was a Baltimore fan, I'd be sick because that's homegrown talent who's good.
Well, homegrown talent it seems to be declining though already. But he
Yeah,
still has probably enough built up in the bank with his first few years that you could get
sure.
something good for him. So
Yeah,
that's an internal thing where they have to make that decision. Hey, did this guy really peak already? Is he just going to be an
yeah,
average catcher the rest of his career? Because other teams might still have some hope on him, might be high on him. Maybe we can get something good for him.
sure. Yeah, maybe we can dump his contract. Oh wait, he's on the rookie deal. Sorry. That's Boston thinking. I will say this. One of the things for people who discount the possibility of trading Rushman, they didn't start him at catcher in the playoff series last year.
Yeah.
They put him at DH first base, and that kind of was a warning sign to me. But we'll see what
Well, it's
happens.
because last year his defensive metrics, which was supposed to be his strength, they just started declining drastically the
Right,
second half of the season.
right. Yeah, and
So
it does
there you
hurt you
go.
when you're a catcher, right? You better
Yeah.
be Johnny Bench. All right. I will say this. I am going to predict the American League will win again. I am going to say Ronald Acuna is going to win the home run challenge tonight, which honestly, I hate hearing Carl Ravage talk about the home run challenge and try and make it interesting. But hey, let's go with it. You got any thoughts on who's going to win the game?
Well, I'll always root for the American League to win the All Star game.
Good for you. Good for you.
Red Sox
Okay.
fan, American League guy, so
You can
I'm
stay on
always
the
rooting for the
podcast.
American League.
I
Thanks.
don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
I know you got a lot of guys trying to take my spot.
I know. They're lined up around the block. Most of them got deported to San Salvador. All right,
Nice.
everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Leave some comments, and we'll see you soon on Off the Rails Sports Podcast.